You can call it a She-Cession. Moms are leaving the workforce in droves, but not by choice. The pandemic forced families to recalibrate and adjust to a new normal. Alexa Liacko introduces us to a mom who is working to get back on the job.
You have like
4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks.
She's a remote school teacher, an after-school caregiver, and a tax expert.
Will you show me one of your assignments?
Or as Madison calls her, Mom.
Do you want to show me a math one?
Amanda Splitt always enjoyed the juggling act of being a working mom.
I've always known that I was not meant to be a stay-at-home mom.
But seemingly overnight, she became one.
I then got a call from my job that they were laying off about 50% of the company, and I was going to be one of those layoffs. So that was kind of the beginning of the pandemic.
The beginning of COVID-19 changing her life.
10 years that I have been working and working my way up in the industry to then just be gone. So, I mean, I remember kind of getting the call and sort of falling to the floor and just being like, what does this mean for me?
For the next few months, she focused solely on helping her daughter with school.
Because trying to do that remote work from home and remote learning with Madison was almost impossible.
Still, she wanted to be equal with her husband, providing for their family.
And putting pressure on your spouse to go, okay, we're gonna do this, and we had to do it as a team.
While they rebudgeted, Amanda applied to job after job, but she kept asking herself one question.
Does it even make sense right now?
Amanda's struggle is one moms across the country are facing.
We are at stake of losing generations of progress for the working woman in our country.
Nicole Reel and Kristen Strom are working moms themselves, studying how the pandemic is hurting women in the workforce.
In the Great Recession, our last major recession as a country, women accounted for 30% of the jobs lost. Flash forward to today. Women this last year have lost over 55% of the total jobs. We've dubbed this the She-Cession.
Across the country, 4.6 million women are out of work. 2 million are still unemployed, but the other 2.6 million women report they've stopped looking for jobs because of demands at home.
A lot of moms who have just kind of gone, this is my reality right now, and it's not going to be our reality forever. But I think it's just, we felt like we needed to step up.
That was like the quickest game of Uno I've ever seen.
It really was.
Half the parents who left the workforce during the pandemic haven't gone back yet because of the cost of childcare.
Things like flexible schedules or remote working options are really helpful for working parents. It's also critical that companies normalize a culture that supports working families.
A supportive workplace is even more critical to Amanda with her second baby on the way.
As much as I loved working and being in the workplace and doing corporate America, the normal was not normal. It was not what I want to necessarily go back to.
So for now, she's staying home and doing some tax work when she can to help, finding that this different sense of normalcy can be a good thing.
Maddie Ray.
For The Race, I'm Alexa Liacko.
I'm Dan Grossman.
You're your own boss, so it's really quite great.
If there was ever someone to be with as you let the world fade into a blur,
On the golf course, Jerry, do you have another Uber story?
Jerry McKissock would make for the perfect companion.
The one that comes out the best is the woman who screamed for 27 minutes.
He is no stranger to the most eccentric of strangers,
I'll never forget her. She's a wonderful lady.
or to the idea that his retirement hobby is making him about as much as his former career.
The expectations was to replace the money I was making when I retired, and it's 3 times that.
When the pandemic slowed every facet of our lives, car manufacturers were not spared. According to the International Organization of Motor Vehicle Manufacturers, production last year dropped 19% in the U.S. Some in the industry called it the worst crisis to ever impact the automotive industry. The drop in cars led to a drop in rental availability. Models in rental company lots were older and they were scarce, and if you absolutely had to rent, prices were inflated. All of those drops have led to a rise in Jerry's profits as more people rely on rideshare services instead. Here's his pay stub for 46 hours on the job last week.
You've got 2 miles to go on your ride. they are dinging you to do another ride.
It doesn't hurt that Uber and Lyft have promised massive incentives to overcome their own shortages. Drivers stopped driving because of slower pandemic business, which hasn't helped accommodate the nearly 80% rise in demand last month, according to both Uber and Lyft, as businesses reopen.
I had a gentleman yesterday that took almost 4 hours to get an Uber, and he was happy that I was available.
To help meet the demand, Uber said it will spend $250 million in incentives to drivers.
My first week, I only worked like 3 days, and I earned over about $562. And then the next week, it bumped up to over 11, and last week it was over 1,300.
Jerry will be the last to complain, as it's allowed him stability in a time when many are still searching for it. I'm Dan Grossman.
More to come on the race. Stick with us.